So the way to loosen this is you're gonna do this kind of a attachment here. Make sure to wedge something in there so that the assembly doesn't move itself when you're trying to loosen this. So once this is loosened, you don't have to take it off all the way, just a little bit. That's all you need. Just loosen it a little bit, maybe like half a turn, and leave it there. And then this whole thing will actually just twist off as soon as we remove this here. There's a pin in there. Take that pin out. Once that pin is removed, I believe it is a 19 millimeter, I believe.
Вот старый замок.
Нет, ключ.
Старый.
Это потому что потом
Вот.
по ключу узнавать. Не знаю.
Before removal of the tie rod, what you're going to want to do is count how many threads you have right here. In my case, I have 10, and the reason you want to count those is because you're going to do alignment after this. But before doing alignment, you want to make sure to put the new tie rod on here as closely as it was before. So there's 10 threads. I counted 10. And then I'm going to remove this nut here. Take this off, drop the tie rod a little bit, and then unscrew it from this shaft here. Okay, so on that there, what you're going to do, so you're going to loosen this up a little bit, drop it, 19 millimeter on that side, 19 millimeter on the other side, or you can use a 19 millimeter, you can use a 3/4, because I didn't have two 19s, and you're going to need two breaker bars like this. This one goes on the other side, this one goes on this side, and that way you hold it with that and loosen it with your other one. You're going to loosen there, and then that'll actually come right off, just like that. Is take a 3/4 or a 19 mil, and you're going to attach it right there, wedge something in there so the whole whole entire assembly doesn't move, the tie rod assembly, and then just slightly loosen this. You don't have to loosen it all the way, just maybe like half a turn. And then what you're going to do is remove that little pin that sits in there, and then you're going to take a, I believe it's a 19 millimeter right here, 19 mil. Oh no, it's actually smaller than that, so it's it would have to be an 18 mil or a 17 mil to remove that bolt right there, and then this will actually drop down, or hopefully drop down. Okay guys, so to get this off, what you're going to do is, once you loosen that nut on the end, you're going to loosen that top bolt, right? So you're going to take that pin out, loosen that top bolt, and then take that off. And then what you're going to do is take something like this, put it like on top like that, and just put a bunch of WD-40 in here and hammer down this way, and then eventually it'll come out. As you can see, this one, it's leaking. It's actually leaked out all of the grease, and it's just like, see, you can move it like this. It's defective, and there's a little bit of up and down motion as well. This one, which is the new one, can't even move it, so it's brand new. This is how they should be. And then to put it back, what you're going to do is, if you can see that, I don't know if you can, you're going to put this back all the way, okay, and then once that's back all the way perfectly, and then you move this, close it, remember half a turn, so that you have 10 threads there. You're going to put this back into this knuckle here, and then actually I'm going to first clean everything here, clean all that out with WD-40, and then put this put that lower tie rod in. Alright guys, so the first step, doing all your own control arms, jack the vehicle up, and what you're going to do is remove the wheel, which is right over there. Remove that, all your wheel lock nut, don't lose that guy there. Again, the reason we're doing this is to avoid going to the dealer and paying a ridiculous amount of money to do this. So you can just take one Sunday afternoon, put aside maybe 3 hours per side, and you should be good to go. What we're going to do first, so we're replacing that. We're replacing the sway bar link, lower control arm, this secondary lower control arm, and also the tie rod end, which is right here. So I'm just going to kind of go roughly like a summary for you, not super detailed, but you'll understand basically what to do. So first thing you're going to do is remove the sway bar link. You're going to remove that. We're replacing it anyway from the bottom and from the top. Put it aside. Then you're going to remove this headlight. It's a headlight, or no, sorry, not a headlight. It's a suspension sensor that what it does is it allows your air strut to know when the car is properly level. So you're going to remove it from right here, from the bottom. Looks like maybe a 12 or 14. And then you're going to remove that one there. You're going to have to hold it on one side and remove it on the other side. Soak everything in WD-40 before you even do anything. And then you're going to remove a little plastic clip that goes right there. You're going to remove that nut right there. Hold it on the other side so it doesn't just keep spinning on you. This will drop down. That'll drop down. Remove that nut right there. It holds the KYB air strut in place. And then what you'll do is remove this from the top. There's a security pin right there. You pull this out and then you remove this and it'll just drop down. And then on the other side, it's actually from the bottom. So it's right there. Same deal. You're going to remove the pin first. And if you remove the pin, you're going to remove this bottom nut as well. And then what will happen is this top part on this arm will lift up out of the housing assembly, and you're going to remove this bolt as well, holding your little wire for your, looks like a wheel speed sensor, probably wheel speed sensor wire right here. That's just the general summary. I'm going to kind of put the video back in once I'm a little bit further ahead with you guys here on this little project. For the top control arms, I checked. It looks like they've been replaced. The seals are pretty new. So I'm leaving these for now. Again, this vehicle we just bought, and I'm just doing a lower suspension kind of refresh because all the seals on the end are pretty worn. And this one in particular, as you can see, it's really bad. So just basically no bushing there whatsoever. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So in order to remove this, you remove that bolt right there, this bolt, and then this. Problem is, when you gotta take this one out, you gotta use a puller, like a tie rod puller. So you put it in here, and then with an impact, push here, and this whole thing will pop out. And then put your new sway bar link in.